Pat being the one big change, is there anything else from an availability standpoint that you won't have Saturday?
No, Patrick obviously will miss the game. And Scott's not available at the moment as well. He's discussing options elsewhere at the moment.
Is that something that, from Scott's perspective, playing time was an issue, or is there something?
Yeah, no. Listen, me and Scott are cool. We get on really well together. He's at a stage in his career where he wants to be starting games and needs to be starting games, and I can't guarantee anybody a start. I think he's had some options that have come up that he wanted to pursue, so we've allowed him to go and pursue them.
Adilson signs his new contract today. What has he meant to you, and the structure and kind of the way the backline has really kind of come together?
Well, this for me comes from the top of the club, where Dave and Nicole want to be successful as a club, and to be successful you have to keep the best players at the club, and we've managed to speak to Addy. People from outside the club will probably look at it and see ourselves trying to protect ourselves in case somebody comes in for him. That is not the case, and that has been never discussed. The reason we've done it is to keep one of the better players at our club so we can be successful in the future.
In terms of not having Patrick, I know the options are limited. Will it be a Yuri and kind of Tiger battle over the course of this week?
Yeah, it could be. They're both players that can play up there. Obviously, Kerwin can play up there as well. But I think he's playing pretty well at the moment on the side. So it can be a battle between them two, that's for sure.
Do you foresee yourself taking anybody from Legacy up to Cincinnati with you, just because you're with no Scott, no Patrick, and some of the other injuries, you might be down some numbers?
No, our numbers are okay. I mean, we've Nick Scardina's been back training back with us this week. Brandon Cambridge has been back training with us as well this week. So, that's both positive news for us. That Nick's been playing really well. Forbes has been scoring goals as well for Legacy, and Brandon's on the comeback trail as well. So we've got some good numbers in the squad.
How much has Legacy helped guys like Nick and Jelani, and I know George got some minutes as well? It's become a real resource for you guys.
Yeah, it is. It's really important. I mean, I think that's one of the big differences, and one of my frustrations, I suppose, is that it's really difficult to organise matches for players who aren't playing. You've got the legacy games, but you don't, because clubs are so far apart. You can't kind of get games and arrange games for players to get match minutes, and when you don't get match minutes, then they're coming in and it takes 2 or 3 games to get into the swing of things and get some rhythm. So that's probably been a frustration of mine, but it's been really good that we've been able to use the legacy for some of the younger players. Bill Taloma and Jalen got a game the other week as well, which unfortunately was weather delayed and weather cancelled. But it's been a big resource for us to use, that's for sure.
I know you've kind of had this familiar refrain of you got to take your chances when they come. Are you starting to kind of see that? And again, I know you won't know this until you see them play again on the game field, but do you see that kind of sense of urgency sinking in with the players?
Yeah, I mean, I look back to that Miami game and I thought it was one of our best performances, and we could have done to Miami what Cincy done to Miami if we'd have taken our chances. The goalkeeper's made a really good save from Patrick. Patrick's hit the post. He's put one over the bar second half. We've had other chances. I thought it was one of our 90-minute performances that unfortunately got taken away.
You've been very good on the road recently, aside from the Houston visit. What's the mentality ahead of a 3-match road trip to close out the period before Leagues Cup?
Well, I said to the players, early in the week that, we played into Miami, who were leading the standings, I think. We're now going to Cincinnati, who are leading the standings, and we've got Columbus on Wednesday, who if they win the games in hand, could be probably leading the standings as well. So all games are tough, but we've proved to ourselves already with the Miami game, that we can match the top teams. We've already played Cincy and Columbus at home. So I think it's a an opportunity for us to again draw another line in the sand, but away from home.
You had two pretty cool things happen yesterday, personal to you. Ollie Watkins scores for England, and your home stadium's got 70,000 for a continental semifinal. What'd you think of just the day of football yesterday?
Well, we had a really good training session in the morning as well. So yeah, it was a good day all round. I went home and watched the England game on my own. I didn't want any outside noise and just concentrate on it. Turned the commentary off and just watched it on my own. And yeah, Ollie Watkins has scored an unbelievable goal, but it doesn't surprise me because it's not an instinctive goal. That's sheer years of practice and hard work, and he got his rewards for it. So, you know, I was inundated and still am with media outlets from the UK wanting to speak about Ollie Watkins at the moment. So I'm really pleased for him. And then I went and visited the stadium last night to, you know, what was a wonderful, first of all, very good game, which I really enjoyed. 100 mile an hour, two teams going for it, a referee letting so many things go, and also becoming a medical practitioner at one stage, I think, as well. But the atmosphere was tremendous, and it was great to see so many people there.
Yeah, I know you talked a bit about the Miami game. Just kind of heading into that extended break and now coming back into this week, is there anything you tried to drill down into your players just about what you took from the performance going into, like you mentioned, a tough shift?
Yeah, we spoke about a lot of the good things that we did during the game. You know, how we built up, how we exposed some of their, you know, these so-called deficiencies that they have, how we created our chances. How we won the ball back at times and counter-pressed really well. But the first thing after the game was to give them a few days off as well, because you don't get very many breaks, and he gave us the chance to all go and recharge a little bit. As disappointed as we was at the results, you know, that was a pleasing performance and one that we can learn from.
And then Andrew first and now Adilson have signed new contracts with the club. I'm just curious what you've kind of really seen from this back four that have been able to start together pretty much throughout the whole season, especially recently, and what you kind of hope to see in terms of if you feel like there's any need for depth in case something happens or anything like that.
Yeah, I just look at the back four at the moment, how they've played this season. They've restricted the opposition to not many big chances, and that's the key to, you know, trying to keep clean sheets. It's emptied my pocket somewhat, but it's been pleasing to do that. You know, there's been some really good relationships in that back four as well. And, you know, you've had young JP come in at times, you've had Jalen come in at times, and Bill. You know, and these lads are needed as well to keep pushing, you know, the four who are in the team at the moment. And, you know, that's not forgetting the goalkeeper who's, you know, just give an air of calmness to the back four when he has the ball at his feet and with his shot stopping as well.
Dean, you're obviously the defense and goalkeeping has been where you pretty much want it. But the goal scoring has been an issue all season long. Kerwin's had a lot of great chances, but has missed frame. And as a player that you lean on to score goals, and not just him, but as a guy that, you know, has those chances and doesn't convert, as a coach, how do you talk a guy through and try to coach him up and maybe inspire him a little bit or give him some confidence so he keeps firing in those chances, because he's getting the chances, but he's not converting. How do you get a guy kind of going?
You just keep working with them, show them, you know, good examples of the best players in the world and what they do and how they do it, and also to remind them as young players that they weren't scoring all of their chances as well. You know, it takes a lot of work, a lot of practice. Like I just said, you know, with Ollie Watkins, you know, he wasn't always scoring goals like that, and, you know, 5 years later, all of a sudden he's, you know, doing it at the very top level. So it takes practice, it takes incredible mentality to keep going and keep pushing, and that's our jobs as coaches to help them discover that. I think they're getting better. You know, I can see the work that we're doing with them, and it's paying off. You know, we all want it to be done a little bit quicker than, you know, sometimes can do it.
Yeah, is it more physical in reps, or do you have to work on the mental side, the between the ears side, so he doesn't lose the confidence to draw it back and let it rip?
The thing between the ears is the biggest bit always in any sport. You know, you'll get players who will have imposter syndrome and feel like they don't deserve to be there. You'll have players who, probably feel they're doing better than they are. And, our job as coaches is to, kind of get them on a consistent level of where their workload should be and where their standard should be as well, and keep pushing that. So, for me, the grey matter is the most important thing, and making sure that that's right. Because if you get the grey matter right, you can actually work with the players on technically becoming better, tactically becoming better, and physically becoming better as well.
Has there been kind of a discussion amongst the forwards, because the back end keeps getting wine for clean sheets, but the forwards aren't getting anything? I mean, what, are they revolting for wine on their own?
No, because I've always said you defend from the front and you attack from the back, and I think we got to five clean sheets, and then I brought the whole squad a bottle, so they never got left out.
And then the last one for me, defending from the front and attacking from the back. From the back starts with Kalina, who's been, I've run out of words to describe him. I mean, how fortunate are you to have a guy back there managing that?
Yeah, really,
so much?
really fortunate. I've come into the club this year and landed on him. He gives an air of confidence. He can have a bite in the dressing room at times as well, to let the lads know when their standards have slipped slightly, which is part of the leadership group, and he's part of that. But what I like to see in a goalkeeper is when you save shots that you should. And that sounds quite a simple thing, but not all goalkeepers do that. And he saves shots that he should, and the ones that he shouldn't, he sometimes saves them as well.
Steve, go ahead.
Did you go to the game last night, and did you have a shopping list?
I went to the game last night, and no, I didn't have a shopping list, no.
Did you have one when you left?
Yeah, there were some good players on show, that's for sure. And it was a thunderous Copa America semi-final. I thought it was 100 mile an hour, and the contrast in some of the games that you see. I think it was 8 minutes on the clock, and I turned round to Christian Fuchs and Parr and said, 8 minutes on the clock, and I think I've seen 12 diagonal balls already, which showed that, Colombia were trying to get in behind a man-to-man marking system, and it was intriguing, that's for sure.
Are there things from like a match like last night and others you've seen in the Copa that you would use to, inform your team?
No, I think there's things that you can certainly learn from every game, and these are two teams. Colombia haven't lost a game for 25 or 26 games, I think, which is an incredible record so far.
28.
Is it 28, 29. Uruguay, I've got so much respect for Marcelo Bielsa, who I've come across, against Leeds United a number of times, and the way he gets his teams playing, and they had some big chances in that first half that they didn't quite take, and a couple in the second half as well. So it was really interesting for me to see contrasting styles.
Speaking of Bielsa, he's going to go up against Jesse Marsh in Canada, the coach who succeeded him at Leeds. Is there anything in that, or just coincidence?
I think it will be coincidence, but there'll be a lot of Leeds United supporters watching that, interestingly.
Mm-hmm. And just going in, can you confirm or deny that you've been contacted for the U.S. men's national team job?
No, I cannot confirm or deny. I didn't even know. When did he lose his job?
Yesterday.
No.
It's been a really busy news cycle.
Yeah. Sorry, no, I missed that one, but. Nah. And it just shows you, and I feel for Greg if he has lost his job, because small details probably cost him his job, because the goal was never offside. And I know they still needed to win the game, but the game's different if you're drawing, and he has no control over his player getting sent off in the game, and if the player stays on, they probably win the game and go through, and that's unfortunately football sometimes.
Is that the situation for all coaches, that you can only do so much, that this is more a player's game than a coach's game once the whistle blows?
I think that it's a bit of both. You coach your players, you want them to be disciplined, you want them to be, probably a little bit of your character as a person anyway when they go out on the pitch. But things happen on a pitch that can actually cost coaches, their roles.
Fonzie, you got anything? Are you good?
So talk about the game next Saturday. You don't have anything like tactics different to stop Acosta and Cincinnati?
Well, we've played them already and played Acosta. You have to be very aware of him. He's had 25 goal involvements already this season, 10 goals, 15 assists, which shows you the calibre of player. But we've played against him already, and I thought we'd done pretty well that day to quieten him down. But we know we have to play exactly the same again to keep him quiet, because he is one of the top players in this league.
And any information for this game? So we don't have number 9 right now. So because Ajiman got a red card last game. So any difference? Or
Yeah, we're going to play 5-4-0. No, we'll have a team set up that we think can go and hurt them, and we've got some players who we believe can go and play as a centre forward and cause enough problems. Cheers, thank you.
5-4-0 from the front. I thought that was very optimistic.
Let's go to the Zoom. I've got Karol waiting first.
Hey Dean, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Karol, yourself?
I'm good. I know you mentioned Ollie Watkins. Did you have a chance to send him a message, or is he the busiest man in the world yesterday?
He will be the busiest man in the world at the moment, I think, but he'll be sheltered in the camp as well. But yeah, I shot him a message. My wife sent his partner a message as well and got a reply. I told him not to reply to me and just go and get the trophy, and then we can share a drink after that.
Nice. Karol Swiderski being back in camp, did you sit down and have a conversation with him, and how did that go, if so?
Yeah, had a very brief conversation with him, but he's come back. He looks really bright. He's fitted in straight away. His training kit still fits him as well, and he's been really bright. So I'm happy to have him back.
I guess the fans want to know what number he's going to wear. Has that been determined yet?
Well, I have no idea. I don't even know what the numbers are now, Karol, if I'm honest. If you asked me what Patrick Adjumang's number was, I wouldn't know. It's what, sorry?
33.
33, okay.
Lottery ticket.
Yeah. No, numbers have never concerned me, as long as the players are just performing in whatever number they carry.
But you had mentioned aptitude and application are your words for Karol. You feel like he's meeting those so far? So
far, definitely. He looks hungry. We haven't really spoken at length how it went with Verona. But I said sometimes the grass isn't always greener. Come back, come and enjoy yourself, come and score some goals and enjoy your football. And his application, as I said before, and his attitude have been spot on. And looking forward to having him in contention, next Saturday against Austin.
Okay, and finally for me, Junior Urso got that shot. We saw him on the side. Is he making any progress?
He's making progress. He's back jogging now. I think he's fairly pain-free now as well. So it'll probably be another few weeks though until he gets back.
Okay, thank you, Dean.
Thanks, Karol.
I've got Sam Spencer there too. You got anything there, Sam?
No, Dean, you're off the hook today.
Thanks, Sam.
Okay, I got 2 more in the room. Go Steve first, then we'll finish with Will.
Yeah, and you may have addressed this before, but just regarding Cincinnati, did you watch their game against Miami?
I did watch the game against Miami. I also watched their game against New England as well. And obviously we've already played them this season.
But they blew up a Miami team that we had just lost to. How would you describe Cincinnati as a team at this point in the season?
Well, if you go and look at the stats, they probably took the chances that we should have against Inter Miami.
Okay. But as a team that you're going to face, what do you like about them? What do you?
They've got goal scorers all over along the front three especially. They've got playmakers. They can build through the thirds. They can go long and go over the top of you because they've got runners as well. So, defensively you've got to be good against them. You've got to keep Acosta quiet, as I said. But as I say, I watched their game, and if we'd taken our chances, we could have won 4 or 5-1 against Inter Miami as well.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Will?
From the stance involving Karol, from your conversation, I know you said it was brief, do you get the sense that he's here for now and content to be here, or do you feel like this maybe is a stopover and a wait and see scenario?
I probably don't like the word content. I like the word hungry. Yeah, and I think he's hungry to be here. I think he's got a point to prove, and I like that. You know, he made no secret that he wanted to go back to Europe to have a go, and you know, he's ended up back here, so things didn't go as well as he would have probably liked. He got minutes in the Euros, but unfortunately they came out, and you know, now he's got the chance to come back and score goals for us. And I think our fans know that he can go and do that. So we're all excited to see him come back and do that. You know, but he's got a challenge as well, because young Patrick's grown since Karol's gone as well. You know, I can't condone his actions last week with getting sent off, you know, where he stamped on him, but I understand them, because I think even the MLS put the clip on their website of him not leaving the field in a timely manner, although the referee's report said he did leave the field in a timely manner, so I don't understand that one. But you saw their player stand on his foot twice on their clip on their website. And I think if he'd have done that to me, I'd have probably chinned him.
Second guy always gets caught, my dad says.
Oh, absolutely. Every coach says.
And yeah, as I said after the game, you'll probably have to learn to fall over sometimes. You know, I didn't think it was a difficult one to referee, if I'm honest, once you see somebody you know, standing on somebody's foot. But you know, it was there for everybody to see on the MLS website.
But when he gets cleanly knocked over, he doesn't get a call.
No, he doesn't. You know, I believe he needs more protection, but you know, it is what it is. And as I say, I can't condone him. He had a red miss moment, and you know, I would have had a red miss moment as well.
Do you think it's a big man thing, that he's just, you know, because he's so big that, you know, he has a higher bar to clear with the rest for being fouled?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is at the moment. I don't know whether, you know, whether he looks ungamely to the referee, so they don't know whether it's a foul or whether it's just the way he's looking. But you know, he's certainly not been as protected as much as I feel he should do.
Agreed. Yeah, it looks like foul. I mean,
yeah,
It is just the one game, right?
yeah, just one game, yeah.
Everyone okay?
yeah, time was passion.
All right, we'll wrap up there.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's stop the line of questioning.